HBCU OverDrive is proudly sponsored by WeWorkForEverything.org. At WeWorkForEverything.org, this is for those who are trying to build for a dream with their latest hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, and accessories and more. You can have it all here at a reasonable price. Black owned and operated out of the great state of New York. Like I said, get suited and booted. Check it out at WeWorkForEverything.org. Peace. Woo, what's going on, everybody? What is going on? It's your boy Doc. We are back in the building. I just made it back in from Birmingham. So I am bushy eyed and wide awake. So other than that, man, I appreciate everybody for jumping on. Appreciate everybody jumping on. And we're gonna get this thing going. Let me see who we got up in here. Who we got up in here. Who we got up in here. Gotta get this thing going. So So y'all have to kind of excuse me. Like I literally just got off like off the road. So what's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Well, we got the biggest supporter, Mr. Campbell in the building, supporting the Rattlers. But I ain't gonna waste no time, y'all. I'm not gonna waste no time. So we just gonna go ahead and get it done. He is the head coach of Florida A&M football. He is the head Rattler in charge. The HRIC is Coach Willie Simmons, y'all. What's going on, Coach?
Hey, what's going on, Doc? How's it going?
I'm good. I'm good. Look, I tried to catch you yesterday. I talked to you for a second. I know you had to go back. You know, you had to go back to Tallahassee to make sure y'all had practice yesterday, and um, I was like, okay, let me see if I can get it on today. And I literally just got back in from Birmingham. Like when I say literally, I literally just got back in. So I still need to get this because it's something that I had to do, and I want the people to come in and enjoy it. So how's everything going? How was your uh yesterday for you for media day?
Oh yeah, yes. Media day was great. I enjoyed the experience. I do every year. I think the SWAC does a great job. They're getting better and better every year as far as the media coverage, the attention, the access, and what they're able to do for the student athletes. They really make it a great experience for the guys, bringing them in a day early, allowing them to kick back and relax a little bit. Some of the top players in the conference get to just rub elbows, talk, tell stories. The coaches get to kind of relax a little bit, and then obviously the media on the next day. So I thought it was run well and very organized. And obviously, we had to address the elephant that everyone talked about, but we got through that and was able to really talk about this football team and how excited we are about this season because that's really the main thing that we want to talk about. And again, we got a chance to do that yesterday.
Right, and I didn't want to hash on that because I when it came out, I knew you was gonna take care of it. You take care of just like to the best of your ability. Um, I basically say like he's the father of over 100 players. You really think about it. So what I'm saying. So when the father put his foot down, he got it. He put his foot down. So you did what you're supposed to do. You did what you had to do, and we not gonna, we're not gonna hash on that. I don't want too much hash on that. But I do want to say you had your quarterback. uh, Jeremy Musa, and you also had your DB Javon Morgan with you yesterday. Um, how is Musa's progression like from his first season at FAMU to now?
Well, first I want to let everyone know because he talked about it all the way back from Birmingham to Tallahassee last night because he will be a household name by the end of the season. It's Javen Morgan. Everyone
JV,
says
okay,
Javon, but it's Javen. So he
all
he
right.
he wanted everyone to know that it's Javen Morgan. He plays safety. A couple of people that talked about corner, but he is a safety for us, and will be a big time player. But no, Jeremy, has made a tremendous jump. He was already one of our unquestioned leaders last year, voted on by his teammates, and to be voted a team captain after one season really just shows the type of character that he has, the type of leadership ability he has. And now coming into his last year, he's the unquestioned leader of this football team. He sets the tempo for us. He gauges the pulse of the guys. He challenges everyone. He's charged with holding everyone accountable, and we'll be a great football team because of the leadership of Jeremy and guys like him. So again, we're very blessed. Anytime you look at a football team and start talking about championship, the first thing you look at is the quarterback. And do you have a quarterback that can lead you to that rare air? And we're definitely blessed to have Jeremy Musa behind center for us because we feel he's one of the more elite quarterbacks in the country, and I truly feel he'll get a chance to show everyone that this season.
Okay. Now I know I asked you this question on Twitter last week, and I asked you about how much of when you were a player for Clemson and you were playing under Rich Rod's offensive system, how much of his offensive system did you incorporate with yours and then kind of mesh it together?
Yeah, so back then rules are a little bit different. Rich Rod was kind of one of the pioneers of the hurry up tempo offense. We were doing things back then that are outlawed today because we were creating a competitive advantage by how fast we were being allowed to play. And so we still take. So what I've taken away from Rich Rod is the concept of spreading people out to run the football. I think he really made a living of that. He was going to get in those four wide sets, make you empty the box to try to cover the pass, and he was going to attack you in between the tackles running the football. And so we want to do the same type of thing. We want to, use every blade of grass on the football field, 100 by 53 and a third. Make you declare whether you're going to, play in the box and try to commit to the run, or whether you're going to, get those guys out in space and try to cover our fast receivers. And we feel that opens running lanes. So I've kind of taken that philosophy from him. And then just the mental toughness approach. You had to be very mentally tough to play for Rich Rodriguez. I tell you that much right now. I mean, he was hard on players. He was hard on us as quarterbacks. And again, but it made us tougher. It made us mentally tough. And again, in football, that's really what you look for. Everyone talks about being physically tough, but it's the mental toughness that really separates the good from the great players and great teams. Because in that second quarter, in that fourth quarter, when you're tired, you're sore, and you got to make a great decision under duress, it's the mentally tough guys that are able to do that. And we want to build mental toughness with our guys. And that's the biggest takeaway that I've taken from Coach Rodriguez.
All right. So I got everybody in the chat right now. They going crazy with back and forth with each other right now. But it's all good. We provide a good show over here. Um, Now your offense, you bring back majority of your offensive starters on and I know last season you had a couple of offensive linemen get hurt early in the season. Um, Tell me more about what did you add on, what pieces that you added to your offensive set.
Yeah, so obviously the first game of last season, we lost Brian Crawford and Cesar Reyes to season-ending injuries against North Carolina. Brian Crawford graduated; that was his last season, and so he's transitioned on to coaching now. He's not offensive line coach at Georgia Military, so very happy for him. But
Okay.
we got Cesar Reyes back, and so that was his first year with us. He transferred to us from South Florida, so this will really be his first season truly playing for us here at FAM. We went out and signed a few offensive linemen in the transfer portal. So Ashton Grable, that we brought in from Jacksonville State, he ended the spring as a starter for us. So we're very excited about him. He'll remind a lot of people of Keenan Forbes. You know, Keenan was an all-conference offensive lineman in the MEAC, and as well as the SWAC, as a very athletic, stout, guard that could play tackle as well. And Ashton pushing that same mindset. Also, Yannick Ogunlade from Buffalo is a guy that brings quality depth. And then we had a huge signing with Cardell Thomas, former
Right.
five-star recruit from LSU. And so he's here on campus now. And again, went in the weight room today, and he's already the strongest guy on the team. There's no doubt about that. And so we're very excited about him. And, so again, we feel like we have a really good nucleus up front. We bring back guys like Jalen Goss, who's first team all conference, Cameron Colvin, preseason first team all conference, TJ Lee, who played a lot of snaps for us last year. And the guy that we're really excited about is Michael Marshall. It's a guy that moved over from defensive line, was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school, made the transition to offensive line this past season, and really has picked that position up nicely. So we have a lot of depth, a lot of competition, and I think we'll have one of the more dominant offensive lines in the conference this year.
All right. Last season, your running game, and I hate to say the word, was abysmal.
Oh, that's the truth. It was terrible.
And I know that the running game would coincide because of your offensive lineman the 2 linemen that you lost, and then you have to shuffle your linemen. What adjustments did you make as far as with your running game?
Well, the guys we mentioned was the first adjustment. Bringing in some offensive linemen that we feel can be dominant in the run game. And then we went on to sign some running backs as well. So a guy like Jacquez Yant, 6'2", 245-pound, downhill running back, from the University of Nebraska. Kevin Dean, 6', 200-pound slasher, from Florida Atlantic. And both those guys are Tallahassee products. And so it was great to get them back home. And then we went into the high school ranks and signed Bo Somerset, who's a very dynamic young man, who's a hybrid running back receiver, much like a Zende Ray for us, was for us back, when we were in the MEAC. And then we have another guy, Leland Wilhoit, who wasn't able to play last year because of an injury that we're really excited about. And then Terrell Jennings returns. And so just like offensive line, a lot of depth, a lot of star power, a lot of athleticism and talent. We just got to continue to develop them, let them mesh well with the offensive line. And we really think we're going to have a very, very complimentary run game this season.
All right. Now your best receiver by far in school history, Xavier Smith.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. Now he's great, but let's not say school history.
So he's not past Jaquay Nonnelly.
Hey, we've had some great ones. Jaquay, Ray Alexander, Bob Hayes. I mean, Robert Wilson, Terry Mickens. I mean, we've had some really, really good receivers. So Zay's right up there with them, though. I will give him that. He's right up there in that conversation with them.
Okay, so he's moved on to the Rams, to the LA Rams. Even though they ain't my wife's team, she from LA, but she says she'll support it. But the receivers that you got, I've seen a couple of receivers that you signed in the off season and the ones that return. Let us know about the receivers that you have coming back and what you got coming.
Right. So returning obviously starts with Jamari Shareed, preseason first team all conference wide receiver. 2 good years for us. Was a little banged up at times last season, coming off a foot injury, but now he's back full speed. He's a very dynamic receiver, dynamic punt returner, led the nation in return yards and average in 2021. So expecting him to have a huge year. David Manigo is a guy that has had a steady career, and we're looking forward to him taking that next step this year. Now that Xavier's gone, that he can kind of move into that role as a dominant single receiver. And then we brought in Marcus Riley, who's an all-conference player down at the little school down there in Daytona. And, so he's now, with us, and I expect Marcus to have a phenomenal year. You're talking about a talented, fast, athletic, twitchy guy with phenomenal ball skills. I'm not going to compare him to Xavier and say that he can have the same type of production because, again, you're talking about one of the all-time greats at FAM, but we're really excited about what Marcus Riley brings to the table. And then you added guys like Chris Reed from Utah, Jaquan Lee from UCF, and then even some of our returning guys. So just like offensive line and running back, we're very deep, we're very talented, and I'm looking forward to seeing these guys come together because I think we have the best passing attack in the conference.
All right. And the word on the street, you had 12 preseason all conference, first and second team, all conference on the list. Um, Let us know about the guys that was on the list. I know you just talked about the offensive side, but like far as for your defensive side.
Yeah, I think it starts with Isaiah Major. Isaiah is our leader on defense, our Mike linebacker, lead tackler from last season. Just a tenacious guy, high intensity, great motor, a very savvy football player, and I think he's going to set the tone for us. And then on the back end, you got Javen Morgan and Kendall Bowler. Obviously a lot of people knew about B.J. Bowler last season, who was an all-conference performer. But just picture B.J. Bowler with 4 inches of height and about 5 to 10 pounds of muscle, and that's Kendall. And so again, just a phenomenal talent. As far as pro prospects, I think he may be our top one. He's got prototypical size, prototypical athleticism. He's a guy that's going to vertical jump close to 40 inches, going to broad jump close to 11 feet, going to run sub 4.5 in the 40-yard dash with long arms and got great athleticism. And so we expect him to really be a shutdown corner for us this year. But we know, of course, it starts up front, and that'll be led by General Hunt, my interior defensive lineman. But we got a really deep defensive line that we're excited about. But again, from the front end to the back end, we've built a deep roster, and I think that's why we're so excited about this group of guys.
All right. Here go. Here go, Mr. Campbell. He says this FAMU OverDrive. Oh man, come on now. We got the Rattlers in the house today. So I got a question for you. The difference between MEAC ball and SWAC ball. What is your take on that?
Again, I've been a part of both leagues. I spent much more time in the SWAC. Out of my, I guess 9 years, I spent 6 in the SWAC, and but no, I spent this 8 in the SWAC and 3 in the MEAC, and so 11 years total. I've been a part of these conferences. It's very similar. I think there's a misconception, but being a part of both leagues, there's great players in both leagues. There are great coaches in both leagues. I think for a long time, the MEAC was more of your grinded out conference where you had probably a little bit more emphasis in the run game and bigger offensive and defensive linemen, whereas the SWAC was a more skill dominated league. But that's kind of flipped, and so I think the SWAC, because of its footprint, probably has the ability to recruit more skilled players because you're talking about Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi, whereas the MEAC is more the northeastern footprint where you're going to get a lot more size. And so I think that's always been kind of the mentality, that the perception that the MEAC is a tougher conference physically. I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I do think as far as the overall makeup of the conferences, you'll probably get more of your dominant skill guys in the SWAC and maybe more of your bigger, more stout guys in the MEAC.
All right. Now a lot of people is asking about who is your QB2, just in case something happens to Musa. We pray nothing happens to him, but who is QB2 for your coach?
Well, right now it's a toss up between Junior Miratovic and Trey Fisher. Junior, people saw him back in 21, was able to get some reps, came in late versus Jackson State and almost led us to a comeback victory. And played a little bit that first season, redshirted last year, and he's back for his third season. And Trey Fisher, obviously the name sounds familiar. He's the son of Jimbo Fisher.
Okay.
And Trey's a guy who transferred to us from UT Martin. Got here last year, and Trey's obviously a coach's kid, so very smart football player. He rivals Jeremy as far as his football acumen. And so, he doesn't have necessarily the physical tools and traits or size as other guys. He's not a guy that's huge in stature, doesn't have a big time arm, but he can run the ball well. He's very smart, can get us in and out of bad plays. And I think he's the guy that can come in and lead this offense. And so we got 3 guys right now that we're really comfortable with. And then Ja'Cory Jordan's a guy that's played for us a little bit in the past, probably the most athletic of the bunch. 6'4", 195-pound guy that's a 4'5", 40 guy, can really, really run, really strong arm. Just got to continue to mature into the position. So, we got four or five quarterbacks that we feel like we can win with. But obviously, Jeremy's the guy. And then, going into training camp, it'll be a toss-up between Junior and Trey Fisher as who's QB2.
Okay. Now, I have this one question right here for you. Um, everybody's asked about your schedule. They asked about your schedule for this season. A lot of people was very critical about uh, your team playing two Division II schools. One who is a Division II power, and the other one really not a Division II school. It is um, Lincoln, California. Um, what was the mind? I mean, I understand that schedules come out. They come out. Well, they are done 2-3 years in advance. Um, what was the mindset as far as having that schedule out for this season?
Well, I think one of the things, and again, I understand people gonna be critical about everything. You play too many FBS schools; they're gonna have an issue with it. You play Division II, so you can't please everyone, and we understand that. We have to do what's best for our program, and we're in a situation where we play two classic games: the Orange
Mhm.
Blossom Classic, obviously, and then the Florida Classic at the end of the season. Well, the way the conference is set up, you play four home conference games, four away conference games.
Right,
Well, we're the home team in both classics this year. And so you look at that, that's two games taken away from Brad Memorial Stadium in Tallahassee. And
right,
so for us, we gotta play home games, right? We're gonna have a invest in the champions package where our fans get tickets to home games. Well, they want to see you play at home, right? They're not gonna pay top dollar for a package that only gives them 2 or 3 games at Brad Memorial Stadium. So we had to find another home game. And so it's obviously when you look at home games, the options are you can play a home and home, which means you find a school that's equal to you in level, another FCS program, and play a home and home with them. Well, it wasn't many of those out there because we
right,
look at our schedule for next season. We couldn't afford to really travel again next year because that would take away a home game in 25 or 2024. Or your other option is to play a guarantee game to pay someone to come to your home. Well, obviously, when you play FCS schools, they're going to want a large guarantee to
right,
come and play at your place. We weren't in a financial position to do that, and so our options are to play, Division IIs that we can get for a lot cheaper. And so, we looked around, and there weren't many schools late in the season, which we had an opening that we can find a home game. And so, we were able to find Lincoln University, and we looked at them, we betted them. I mean, they played Texas Southern last year. They're going to play this year, I think,
yeah,
six teams between the SWAC and the WAC and whatever the new conference that they're kind of building out there, joining conferences or whatever.
right,
So they got a competitive schedule, and again, they're going to field the football team that's going to try to be competitive. So, I know it's a new team, but our conference for years and years have played the Virginia Lynchburgs, the Edward Waters when they were NAIA. I don't think it's any different in this situation than playing, Lincoln University. So again, at the end of the day, we got to play home games, and we got to schedule we got a schedule to allow us to maximize our season ticket holders and
hmm
and our investing champions package members, and that's what we tried to do. So again, I took my hat to Michael Smith, who was able to fill that schedule during his interim year, and of course, Vice President AD Sykes has come in and taking that over now, and we're scheduling moving forward. But it's not easy to find games when you have later in the season games because everyone has kind of filled their schedule out in the future. But again, I think it's a very competitive schedule. The one thing people may overlook, they say two Division IIs. West Florida won a national championship a couple of seasons ago
right,
in Division II, and they lost in the second round to the national champion last year. They went 12-1. So this isn't some pushover team that's going to come in here and just lay down. They're very competitive. They're very talented. Their quarterback transferred to Western Kentucky, and he led the nation in passing yards last season. And he's coming back for his last season. So don't think for 1 second that they won't be a talented football team, and we're going to have our helmet strapped on and shoulder pads buckled because they're going to come to Tallahassee trying to pull off an upset.
Man, man, I think that was a good reason. Good. People would say excuses, but I think that's good reasoning about why y'all did the schedule like that, and I understand it. And my guy Mr. Campbell told me he kind of specifically told me about how y'all did y'all schedule the way that y'all did it, and I will take that. Now, first game of the season, Miami Gardens, Orange Blossom Classic against Jackson State. How What's the temperature? How you gauging your team right now as far as are they going to be ready for that game or not?
Well, the temperature in Miami will be hot. I can tell you that. But no, I mean, our guys are focused on August 2nd. Right now we're focused on getting to training camp and really having the best training camp that we can have. That's how we're going to be prepared to beat Jackson State. We can't just say we're going to have our minds right to beat Jackson State. It's about the preparation it takes over those 25 practices to get yourself ready to go into the first ball game of the season. And so how we approach meetings, how we approach walkthroughs, treatment, weightlifting, nutrition, all the things that we have to do over the next 4 weeks before we get on that plane to hit the Miami Gardens is really going to determine our success. And so again, that's the focus for our team. We know what's at stake. We know it's a huge game. We know it's got championship implications. But when we looked at ourselves last year, and of course, I saw all the comments about me saying it was self-inflicted, but Jackson scored in 4 unconventional ways that were all ways that we gave them. We rolled the snap back that they recovered and ran for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
We threw an interception that hit our receiver in the face mask and bounced up in the air that they caught on the plus side of the field and scored a few plays later. We threw a pick six on a low snap that the quarterback had to pick the ball up low, which made the throw late on a quick game concept that they ran back for a touchdown. Mm-hmm. We got a punt blocked where we shifted the protection away from the overload, something that we hadn't done all the training camp. We got in the game and shifted our protection away from an overload side. And so, again, it was just a game where mentally we just were not ready to play. And as a head coach, that's on me. That's my responsibility to make sure that we're able to manage everything that we're trying to do. So, again, I'm going to make sure that, this team is locked in mentally. When we go down to Miami, I think we went too early last year. We got there on Wednesday, and that's 5 days in South Florida. So I'm not sure if anybody can handle 5 days in South Florida and get ready to play a football game in the 5th day. So again, we're adjusting how we travel and making sure that the football game is our number one focus. So again, I look forward to the game. I think it's going to be a great matchup, and I think with the tweaks that we've made with the football team that we put together, that this will be the best edition of the Orange Blossom Classic for FAMU football yet.
Okay. And basically everybody's saying the last 2 years you've been in the SWAC. First year you came in, y'all went to the FCS playoffs, which was, for good because the SWAC haven't had a team in the playoffs since 1997 when we gave up our automatic qualifier. And then last season, you basically the same record, and I thought you were going to get in the playoffs last season, but of course it was some other teams that jumped you, and now I think everybody's mindset is said to get the playoffs is Celebration Bowl or bust. Is that all? Everybody in the locker room from the trainers to the janitor. Is that their mindset? Celebration Bowl or bust?
Well, our number one goal is to win the Cricket Celebration Bowl. That's the goal that we go into every season with. And we maintain that goal as long as we feel it's within our grasp. What we've had to do the last couple of years, because we lost the first game to a divisional opponent who we felt wasn't going to lose 2 games, we had to shift our mindset to now FCS playoffs. But starting the season, our goal is the Celebration Bowl. The way we schedule, the way we do things, everything is geared towards the Cricket Celebration Bowl in late December. And that's going to be the focus as long as we're able to do so. And so again, I don't want to say Celebration Bowl a bust, but I will say that right now going into training camp, our sole focus is on winning the SWAC East, winning the SWAC altogether, and then going to Atlanta and finishing it by winning the Celebration Bowl.
All right. Well, y'all heard it from Coach. It's getting dark out there, so it's getting dark, and he he just finished practice, and look, I just got back. Like I said, I just got back in from Birmingham, so I appreciate you, Coach, and hopefully get to see you again sometime this season. I know y'all supposed to go to, like I said, y'all going to Houston for to play against Texas Southern. So hopefully I get to check see uh talk some more when down there when y'all play them.
Yeah, we'll be there. I know Texas is excited about our Houston chapter. Is very excited about us playing Texas Southern. We'll be down there, and it's gonna be a great game. And I'm really excited. I think they got a really good football team. Andrew Body's a dynamic quarterback, and I'm looking forward to seeing what those guys can do in the West this year. And I think this is the best season in the conference for in a long time as far as parity, top to bottom. It's a toss up as to who's going to come out of both divisions. So SWAC fans, I think it's going to be a fun year for everybody.
All right. Now, thank you, Coach. Uh, we hope they have you back on here again, man.
All right, I appreciate it. Sorry about the light. I'm playing
You good?
daddy duty.
Nah, you good, sir.
All right, take care.
All right, all right, y'all. All right, that was Coach Willie Simmons, y'all. That was Coach Willie Simmons, and I think he ain't had nothing. He didn't miss his words or do anything else. But hey, like you said, it's either it's either sweat, it's either celebration bowl or bust. So um, I appreciate everybody for jumping on. Like I said, it's the last minute. Now I the thing I wanted to say now is I want to thank everybody who actually donated to get us down to Birmingham and back this week. I did have a good time there in Birmingham. Um, got to see a lot of people. Got to see other podcasters, other media personalities. Of course, the great Rob J. Um, got to see the best dressed coach in the SWAC, and Eric Dooley. Got to basically have a good conversation with the dean of all SWAC coaches, Coach Fred McNair, uh, Coach Eddie Robinson with Alabama State. Yes, we everybody that actually came over to our table yesterday, we had a good time actually interviewing everybody. So if you still want to, all the donations now, you can put it in the in Cash App, and you can also send it through. You can also send it through Super Chat. So it is so good. It's so I'm just so humbled to have y'all um um to have y'all on here and to bless this channel right here. So um now, Mr. Sweet, you are correct. I don't think he did not change anything what he said. So um he ain't changing anything what he said. Donations anytime. You can do a donation now. You can do donation later. Just anytime, man. I'm all It's always hey. I always say the bills still got to be get paid with this YouTube channel, man. So um, anything that y'all donate, it does go towards the channel. Like any kind of lighting, camera, whatever helps out the channel. That's what the donations are for. But I did, like I said, this past week, uh, since last week, I think we raised over close to, I think like almost $700. think close to $700, a little bit more, $700. Yeah, I appreciate everybody for doing that, and yeah, I, I love it. I love it. I love everybody. You know what I'm saying? I want to thank my the lady who holds it down and who makes sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. That is Lady Holiday. That is my rib. So she does everything. She makes sure everything's going on. And she made the trip with me after she came off the plane on Sunday afternoon, coming from Chicago from her job. And we drove the 9 hours to Birmingham this week and back. Even though she drove 3 hours on Monday night and I drove the rest, and then I drove all the way back from Birmingham back here. So we are here, one piece. Hey, um, she shouldn't, she not gonna leave her. I don't want to leave her out because she has been down with me doing this thing from day one. So I just want people to understand. I just want people to know and understand. And she is always going to be the one that's right there. And nobody can replace that. But Doctor Doctor Smith, I think I might should get some rest because I gotta be at work in the morning, probably around about 11. So I ain't gonna be there all. I'm not. I hope I ain't gonna be there all day. So tomorrow's gonna be my work, my actual job, and then rest up, and then this whole weekend, and then I got to get myself ready for audit, store audit. So um, I'll pray I get that going. I get through that. So, but other than that, like I said, you can still hit the cash out donation. You could send out funds to the cash app or through super chat. Make sure it was over 100 people in here. Make sure that y'all like the stream. Make sure that you share with folks. All the rapplers that's in the building. Make sure that you share it with your folks. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel because I can't do this without y'all. We might be JSU centric up in here, but everybody up in here, I can't do this without everybody. So um, I just want to make sure just let people know that so they won't feel left out and I'm not missing nobody. But other than that, y'all, man, we gonna be up out of here. More than likely, I don't think I'll do a show Friday tomorrow or Friday. Uh, I might do one more show for Saturday, and then we're gonna take a break. So y'all have a good one. And go check out John Simmons HBCU Nightly, y'all, either on Twitter or on YouTube, y'all. So um, as always, y'all be blessed, y'all stay safe, and y'all stay dangerous. Be back at it again this weekend. Peace.